The attack came at dawn. Keisha woke to the sound of Taehyun's phone vibrating violently against the nightstand. She felt him tense beside her, his body going from relaxed to combat-ready in a heartbeat. "What is it?" she whispered. He was already moving, pulling on clothes with practiced efficiency. "Stay here. Lock the door." Taehyun. "Lock the door." His eyes met hers in the pre-dawn darkness, and she saw something that terrified her. Fear. Real fear. "Don't open it for anyone except me or Seo Jun. Understand?" She nodded, her heart hammering. He kissed her forehead quickly, then moved to the crib where Elise slept peacefully. He stood there for a moment, just watching her breathe. "I'll fix this," he murmured. Then he was gone. Keisha grabbed her phone with shaking hands and moved to the crib, gathering Elise into her arms. The toddler stirred but didn't wake, simply nuzzling against her mother's shoulder. Outside, she heard shouting, running footsteps, then gunfire. "If you're on the edge of your seat, drop a like right now." Keisha's phone buzzed. A message from Seo Jun, boss's brother. "Claimed you and Elise. Get to the panic room. Now." Brother? Taehyun had never mentioned a brother. Keisha ran. She burst into the panic room, sealed the door, and finally allowed herself to breathe. Elise woke up then, confused. "Mama." "It's okay, baby. We're playing hide and seek with Daddy." Daddy. When had she started calling him that? When had Elise started saying it? When had this dangerous man become their entire world? The panic room had monitors showing different areas of the compound. Keisha pulled up the cameras with trembling fingers and immediately wished she hadn't. The main courtyard was a war zone. Taehyun stood in the center, surrounded by his men, facing off against a force twice their size. And at the head of that force stood a man who looked disturbingly similar to Taehyun. Same height, same build, same cold eyes. But where Taehyun had found softness, this man radiated pure hatred. The audio crackled to life. "Brother," the man said, his voice dripping with venom. "Did you really think you could play house and I wouldn't find out?" Jin Woo. Taehyun's voice was carefully controlled. "This is between us. Leave them out of it." "Leave them out of it?" Jin Woo laughed, the sound sharp and cruel. "You abandoned the family for a whore and her bastard child, and you expect me to just—" The crack of Taehyun's fist connecting with Jin Woo's jaw echoed through the speakers. "Call her that again," Taehyun said softly, dangerously, "and you'll die before you finish the sentence." Jin Woo spat blood. "There he is. The monster I remember. For a moment, I thought that woman had actually tamed you." "She didn't tame me. She gave me something to protect." "How touching. Shame you won't live to." The explosion rocked the entire mansion. Keisha screamed, clutching Elise tighter as the panic room shook. The monitors went dark. Emergency lighting kicked in, bathing everything in red. No, Keisha fumbled with the backup camera system, finally getting one monitor working. The courtyard was chaotic. Smoke everywhere. Bodies on the ground. She couldn't tell whose. And Taehyun. She couldn't see Taehyun. "Please," she whispered. "Please, please, please." Elise was crying now, sensing her mother's terror. "Daddy. Want Daddy. I know, baby. I know. Daddy will come. He always comes. He has to come." 3 hours passed like 3 eternities. Keisha sang every lullaby she knew, told Elise stories, played with the emergency supplies kept in the panic room, anything to distract her daughter from the fact that they were trapped while the man they both loved fought for his life outside. When the door finally opened, Keisha nearly collapsed. But it wasn't Taehyun. Seo Jun stood there, covered in soot and blood, his expression grim. "Where is he?" Keisha demanded. "Where's Taehyun?" "Hospital. He's alive, but—" Seo Jun's jaw tightened. "You need to come with me. Now." "Is he?" "He's asking for you. Both of you." The drive to the private hospital was a blur. Keisha held Elise, so tightly the toddler squirmed in protest. Seo Jun drove like a man possessed, weaving through Seoul traffic with terrifying precision. "What happened?" Keisha finally asked. "Taehyun's brother. Jin Woo is dead," Seo Jun said flatly. "The boss made sure of that before the building came down. But the explosion—" He gripped the steering wheel harder. "The boss shielded 3 of our youngest recruits. took the brunt of the blast himself. Keisha's vision blurred with tears. How bad? Bad enough that he's demanding to see you before surgery. The doctors wanted to operate immediately, but he refused until Seo Jun's voice cracked. He needs to know you're both safe. It's the only thing keeping him conscious right now. The hospital room was cold and sterile and wrong. Everything about seeing Taehyun in that bed was wrong. He was always so strong, so controlled, so utterly unbreakable. But now he looked small, fragile, human. Burns covered his left side. His arm was clearly broken. And the way he was breathing, labored, painful, suggested internal injuries Keisha didn't want to think about. But when he saw them, his eyes lit up. Keisha. His voice was barely a whisper. Elise. We're here. Keisha moved to his bedside, careful not to jostle him. We're okay. You protected us. Again. Had to. Each word seemed to cost him. Couldn't let anything. Elise reached out, her little face crumpling. Daddy hurt. Daddy, we. Something in Taehyun's expression broke. I'm okay, little one. Daddy's okay. He needs surgery, a doctor said from the doorway. Sir, we really need to. 1 minute. Taehyun's eyes never left Keisha's face. Need to tell you. Don't. Keisha blinked back tears. Don't you dare say goodbye. You're going to be fine. You're going to have this surgery, and you're going to recover, and you're going to come home to us. Understand? Bossy. The corner of his mouth twitched. Love that about you. Taehyun. Love you, he said clearly, distinctly, like he needed her to hear it. Love both of you. First time I've ever. I know. Keisha carefully, so carefully, leaned down and kissed him. I love you too. So you don't get to leave us. We need you. Elise, he breathed. Come here, baby girl. Keisha lifted Elise closer. The toddler reached out and patted Taehyun's cheek with heartbreaking gentleness. All better soon, Elise declared with the absolute certainty only a child could have. Kisses make it better. She planted a wet kiss on his forehead. Taehyun closed his eyes, and Keisha saw a tear slip down his scarred cheek. All better soon, he agreed. Promise. Sir, the doctor pressed. We need to go now. Go. Keisha squeezed his hand. We'll be right here when you wake up. Always. Always. They wheeled him away, and Keisha sank into the nearest chair, Elise in her lap, and finally let herself cry. The surgery took 9 hours. 9 hours of Keisha pacing the waiting room while Elise dozed fitfully in her arms. 9 hours of Seo Jun bringing coffee she couldn't drink and updates she couldn't process. 9 hours of wondering if the best thing that had ever happened to her was going to be taken away. Mrs. Choi. Keisha looked up at the doctor, her heart in her throat. When had she started thinking of herself as Mrs. Choi? He's stable, the doctor said, and Keisha nearly collapsed with relief. The surgery went as well as could be expected. He'll need extensive recovery time, but he's strong. Stronger than any patient I've ever treated, honestly. It's like he's too stubborn to die. Keisha laughed through her tears. That sounds like him. You can see him in an hour, once he's settled in recovery. Thank you. Thank you so much. When she finally saw him again, Taehyun was pale and still, connected to more machines than Keisha wanted to count. But he was breathing. His chest rose and fell steadily. He was alive. Keisha pulled a chair to his bedside and settled Elise in her lap. We're here, she whispered, taking his hand carefully. Both of us. Right here. Elise patted his hand. Daddy sleep. Yes, baby. Daddy's sleeping. He needs to rest and get strong. Then we go home. They sat there for hours, Keisha dozing in the chair while Elise curled against her chest. At some point, Seo Jun brought blankets and pillows. Brought food Keisha barely touched. Brought news of the aftermath. Jin Woo's faction decimated. The threat neutralized. The organization secure. But Keisha didn't care about any of that. She only cared about the man in the bed, fighting his way back to them. 3 days later, Taehyun finally opened his eyes. Keisha, he croaked. She was there instantly, Elise scrambling up beside her. We're here. Don't try to move. Elise. Right here, Daddy. The toddler very carefully patted his uninjured hand. You sleep long time. Sorry, baby girl. Did you take care of Mama? Yes. I am very good. I know you are. He tried to smile, wincing. Best girl. The doctors say you'll make a full recovery, Keisha said, her voice shaking. It'll take time, but... Good. Can't protect you from a hospital bed. You can't protect us if you're dead, either, you stubborn idiot. He actually laughed, then immediately regretted it, pain flashing across his face. Definitely bossy. Someone has to be, since you clearly have no sense of self-preservation. Had to protect the kids. They were so young, Keisha. Same age I was when... He closed his eyes. Couldn't let them die. Keisha's throat tightened. I know. And they're alive because of you. You're a hero. I'm a criminal. You're our hero. That's what matters. The next 6 weeks were the hardest of Keisha's life. Tae-hyun was a terrible patient. I can walk, he insisted from his wheelchair, trying to stand despite the doctor's strict orders. Sit down, Keisha commanded, pushing him back. You heard what the doctor said. Another week before you can put weight on that leg. I run an empire, Keisha. I can't do it from a wheelchair. Then delegate. That's why you have Seo-jun. Seo-jun isn't me. No, he's smart enough to follow medical advice. Tae-hyun glared at her. She glared right back. From her playpen in the corner, Elise giggled. Mama wins. Despite himself, Tae-hyun smiled. Traitor. Daddy's silly, Elise declared, going back to her toys. See? Even your daughter knows you're being ridiculous. Keisha softened, kneeling beside his wheelchair. I almost lost you, Tae-hyun. Do you understand that? For 9 hours, I didn't know if you were going to survive. So forgive me if I'm being overprotective, but you don't get to risk your life again. Not when we need you. His hand cupped her face. I know. I'm sorry. I hate feeling weak. You're not weak. You're healing. There's a difference. Is there? Yes. Weak is giving up. Healing is fighting to come back. And you've never given up on anything in your life. He pulled her closer, kissing her forehead. When did you get so wise? I've always been wise. You just weren't paying attention. I'm paying attention now. Physical therapy was brutal. Keisha watched Tae-hyun push himself through exercises that clearly caused him agony. His jaw clenched so tight she worried he'd crack his teeth. But he never complained. Never quit. That's enough for today, the therapist said after 2 hours. One more set, Tae-hyun ground out. Sir, you'll injure yourself. One more set. The therapist looked at Keisha helplessly. She sighed and approached Tae-hyun, who was drenched in sweat and shaking with exhaustion. You've done enough, she said quietly. You've proved whatever you needed to prove. Now rest. I need to be strong enough to protect you. You are strong enough. But you won't be if you destroy yourself trying to heal too fast. She touched his face gently. Please. For me. For Elise. He searched her eyes, then finally nodded. For you. Later, back in their room, the mansion had been rebuilt with even better security. Keisha helped him into bed. His pride hated it. She could see it in every tense line of his body. I used to be able to take down 10 men without breaking a sweat, he muttered. Now I can barely walk across a room. Temporary, Keisha reminded him. The doctor said. I know what the doctor said. Doesn't make it easier. Elise toddled over, climbing onto the bed with determination. She settled against Tae-hyun's side, careful of his injuries. Story time, Daddy. I don't think I can. Story time, Elise repeated, more firmly. Tae-hyun looked at Keisha, who just smiled and handed him a children's book. You heard the boss, Keisha teased. He took the book, his expression softening as Elise snuggled closer. All right. Once upon a time. Watching them together, this fierce man and this tiny girl. Keisha felt her heart expand in her chest. This was her family, broken and unconventional and absolutely perfect. 3 months after the attack, Tae-hyun walked without assistance for the first time. Not far, just from the bedroom to the nursery where Elise was napping. But he did it on his own, without the cane, without help. Keisha found him standing over Elise's crib, watching her sleep. You did it, she whispered, wrapping her arms around him from behind. I did it, he agreed. Took long enough. You're healing faster than anyone expected. The doctors are amazed. I had motivation. He turned in her arms, cupping her face. You, her, this life we're building, that's worth fighting for. Tae-hyun, I need to tell you something. About my brother. About why he came after us. Keisha's stomach tightened. Okay. They moved to the bedroom, and Taehyun sat heavily on the bed. Even with his improved mobility, he's still tired easily. Jin-woo and I built this organization together, he began, his voice distant. We were all each other had after our parents died. But Jin-woo, he became obsessed with power, with control. He wanted to expand into trafficking, drugs, weapons, people. I refused. People. Keisha felt sick. Children mostly. He saw them as commodities. Taehyun's hands clenched into fists. I told him if he went through with it, I'd kill him myself. We split the organization. I took the legitimate businesses and the operations that, while illegal, didn't destroy innocent lives. He took everything else. That's why you reacted so strongly to Elise, Keisha realized. She reminded you of the children he wanted to hurt. She reminded me that not everyone in this world is broken. That innocence still exists. That maybe. He looked at her, vulnerable in a way she'd never seen. Maybe I deserved a chance at something good. Keisha took his hands. You do deserve it. You've always deserved it. Jin-woo found out about you and Elise. Saw it as weakness. Thought if he eliminated you, I'd come back to the family business. He didn't understand that you didn't make me weak. Taehyun's voice roughened. You made me strong enough to want to be better. You were always better. You just needed someone to see it. He pulled her into his lap, holding her close. I love you. I should have said it sooner. Should have said it every day since the moment I realized it. When did you realize it? The first time Elise fell asleep in my arms. I looked at her, this perfect tiny human who trusted me completely. And then I looked at you, this fierce, brave woman who didn't run even when she should have. And I knew I'd do anything to keep you both safe. To keep this family intact. Keisha kissed him, slow and deep. We're not going anywhere. Good. Because I have a question to ask you. He reached into the nightstand, moving carefully but steadily, and pulled out a small velvet box. Keisha's breath caught. I know this isn't traditional, Taehyun said, opening the box to reveal a stunning diamond ring. And I know my world is dangerous. I know I'm not the safe choice or the easy choice. But I'm yours, Keisha, completely. And I want to be yours officially. Taehyun, marry me. Let me be Elise's father legally. Let me give you both my name, my protection, everything I have. Let me spend the rest of my life making you happy. Tears streamed down Keisha's face. Yes. God, yes. He slipped the ring on her finger, and it fit perfectly. Of course it did. Taehyun never did anything halfway. Mama crying, a small voice asked from the doorway. They both turned to see Elise standing there, rubbing her eyes. Happy tears, baby, Keisha said, laughing. Very happy tears. Daddy makes Mama happy? Always, Taehyun promised, opening his arms. Elise ran to them, and they caught her together. The three of them tangled in a hug that felt like coming home. The wedding was small. Just Seo-jun and Ms. Hwang and a handful of Taehyun's most trusted people. No fanfare. No spectacle. Just two people promising to love each other, and a toddler who served as the world's most adorable flower girl. Elise took her job very seriously, throwing petals with intense concentration and occasionally stopping to eat one. I love you, Taehyun murmured as they exchanged vows in the mansion's garden. From the moment your daughter saw past the monster to the man, I was lost. I love you, Keisha replied, her voice thick with emotion. From the moment you held her like she was precious, I knew you were exactly who we needed. When they kissed, Elise cheered and threw more petals at them. Daddy and Mama married, she announced to everyone. Now we family. We were always family, little one, Taehyun said, scooping her up. Now it's just official. That night, after Elise was asleep and the guests had gone home, Keisha and Taehyun stood on their bedroom balcony, looking out over Seoul's glittering lights. Any regrets? Taehyun asked, his arm around her waist. Not a single one. You. Only that I didn't meet you sooner. We met exactly when we were supposed to. Keisha leaned into him. Everything that happened, the struggle, the fear, almost losing you, it brought us here. To this moment. To this family. To this family, he echoed. Which might be expanding, if you're open to it. Keisha pulled back to look at him. Are you saying? I'm saying Elise asked me yesterday if she could have a brother or sister. And I'm saying I'd like nothing more than to give her one. His eyes were soft. If you want that too. Keisha thought about it, about Elise having a sibling, about growing their family, about filling this massive house with love and laughter and chaos. I want that, she said. I want everything with you. He kissed her then, deep and promising, and soul sparkled below them like it was celebrating too. 2 years later. Elise, don't run so fast. Keisha called, one hand on her very pregnant belly. I got her. Taehyun jogged after their daughter, now 3 and fast as lightning, scooping her up before she could climb the fountain. Gotcha. Elise shrieked with laughter. Again, Daddy. Again. Your brother's going to be here any day now, Taehyun said, carrying her back to where Keisha sat on a bench. You'll have someone new to chase around. I teach him, Elise declared seriously. Teach him everything. I'm sure you will. They transformed the mansion into a real home. Art from Elise covered the walls. Toys scattered across previously pristine floors. Laughter echoed in halls that had once only known violence. Taehyun had slowly transitioned the business toward complete legitimacy. It would take years, maybe decades, but he was determined. His children wouldn't inherit an empire built on darkness. They'd inherit something better. I never thought I'd have this, Taehyun said quietly, watching Elise play in the garden while Keisha rested against his shoulder. A family. Peace. Love. You deserve it, Keisha said. You've worked so hard to become the man you are now. I'm still not perfect. Nobody is. But you're perfect for us. Elise ran back over, placing her small hand on Keisha's belly. Baby coming soon? Very soon. Good. I'm ready. She looked at Taehyun with complete trust, complete love. Right, Daddy? Right, Princess. We're all ready. And watching them, her daughter and her husband, her family. Keisha realized that sometimes the most unexpected paths lead to the most beautiful destinations. She'd come to Seoul desperate and alone. She'd found a home in the last place she'd expected. And the man who'd seemed like a monster turned out to be her salvation. I love you, she told Taehyun. I love you more, he replied. Impossible. Want to bet? Elise giggled. Silly mama and daddy. Yeah, Keisha agreed, kissing her husband's cheek. We're pretty silly. But they were happy. Finally, impossibly, perfectly happy. So there you have it. From a chance encounter in a mansion hallway to a love story that defied all odds. Sometimes the most broken people find each other and create something beautiful. Sometimes trust comes from the most innocent source. And sometimes love really does conquer all. If you loved this story, smash that like button and subscribe for more incredible tales. Drop a comment telling us your favorite moment from this journey. And remember, never judge a book by its cover, because you never know what beauty might be hiding beneath the scars. Until next time, keep believing in love, keep believing in second chances, and keep believing that everyone deserves their happy ending. Thank you.